Welcome to How to Make Bannock with Tiana. Today I will be showing you how to make bannock. Now the first most important step of every recipe is to wash your hands. You don't want dirt getting into your ingredients. For this recipe you will need 1 cup of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and some cold water. This recipe will also involve you to use a stove and a knife, so make sure that you get parent permission or parent supervision when you are making bannock. The first step in this recipe is to mix together all your dry ingredients. So this is your flour, your salt, and your baking powder. In this bannock recipe, you also may use 2 tablespoons of skim milk powder. I chose not to. Mix together your dry ingredients in a bowl to make sure they're distributed equally throughout. The next step in this recipe is to mix together our butter or margarine into our dry ingredient mix. I'm going to use this butter cutting tool. If you do not have one, that is okay. You may use a knife or a fork to help mash up the butter. The whole objective here is we're going to get the mixture to be more crumbly by crushing up the butter into smaller pieces. At this point you can see that the butter is almost fully mixed in and the mixture is more coarse. Now what we're going to do is form the dough of the bannock, and how we're going to do this is we are going to pour in some of that cold water. There is no designated amount, just start off with a little bit and then mix it up with a spoon. If you find that the mixture is too dry and it's not sticking together, slowly add in more water, or if you're having the opposite effect where you find it is too sticky, add in more flour. The ideal texture of your bannock dough ball should not be super dry, but it also should not be super sticky, somewhere in between the middle. As you can see, after mixing it for a while with a spoon, I have started kneading it with my hands. I'm adding in the flour that's in the bowl, so everything gets fully mixed in and nothing is wasted. As you can see here, I have almost fully completed my dough ball of bannock. The next step is to form our bannock cake. So all I'm doing is I'm just taking chunks out of my bannock dough ball, and then I'm going to roll that chunk in my hand to create a smaller ball, and then I'm going to flatten it. Roughly you want 1.5 centimeter of thickness of your cake. So I'm just going to do this till I run out of dough. The dough balls can be any size you want them to. If you want them super small or if you want them super big, that is completely up to you. Now that all of my cakes are formed, I'm just going to dust the tops with a little bit of flour so they don't stick to my pan. Now comes the stove. Once again, please get parent supervision and parent permission. What I did was I put my pan on the front burner, and to grease the pan I chose butter. I have my heat on a medium setting, and now I'm just going to spread around my butter while my pan heats up so that when I put the dough cakes on, they will not stick to the pan. Now that my pan has been fully greased, I'm going to start adding on the dough cakes. be very careful because the pan will be hot. I will then flip my dough cakes once the other side has become this nice golden brown, and then I will wait again until the other side that I have just flipped has become nice and brown. Once both sides were done cooking, I took them off the pan and I put them onto a plate to let them cool down, and this was the final product. Cooking time took between 12 to 15 minutes, and like I said in the paper crane video, have fun with it. You can put jam on these cakes, you can do anything, just have fun. Also, don't worry about getting every single step completely perfect and matching exactly what mine looks like in the video. Practice makes perfect, even in cooking. These are definitely not a super easy recipe to make. You know, something easier would just be putting something in the toaster. So just doing this recipe is already a golden star in my book because it takes effort and dedication to go through with cooking and baking. So thank you for joining me, and bye, have fun!